talking about the Titans here. The Titans.
Swing and a drive, left field. It's good. It's good. It is Bedlam at the bank.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Podcast right here. You already know. Go fucking subscribe. Go follow.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Phillies postgame show with Eric, Brendan, Dalt, and Ballpark Tommy. Proudly powered by TickPick. Check out the link in the bio for $10 off your first order today. Let's take it to the show.
They had us in the first half. I'm not going to lie, because up until that 8th inning rally, this team looked defeated for a little bit. And, you know, there's a lot to talk about tonight because a lot happens between, you know, Kyle Schwarber's leadoff, between the benches clearing, between Cal Stevenson getting the lead, between Ranger Suárez not looking like himself. There's a lot to talk about. Right now, it's just me. Friday should be joining here in a few minutes, but you know, what a win. And they needed this because, I mean, you know, I'm looking at the scores here. It's Mets versus Toronto, end of the 8th right now. I mean, Blue Jays are up 6-2. But like the Braves, dude, they just decimated the Nationals. I think it was like 12-0 or something like that. 12-0. So like they needed this win to keep their standings in place, and the magic number is now down to 11. But what's up, everybody? Eric, also known as Shard, here at the 302 Birds post game show. And Phillies win 9-4. And with that, we're gonna get into our first topic. The first thing I'm going to talk about, Ranger Suárez, dude. Is he washed? I don't know. Like his stat line recently, and I'm gonna pull it up here. He hasn't been good, and like he let up his most hits ever in his career tonight with 12. You know, I mean, like last time against the Marlins, he was pretty decent. He went 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs. But before that, against the Braves, 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs. And then tonight, 5.1 innings pitched, 12 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, no home runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. ERA is back up, went to a 3.05. This is a guy that, you know, first half of the season, he looked lights out. He looked dominant. His ERA was a sub-2, and I think James just joined us. But his ERA was a sub-2, and just he looked dominant. But like now it's just every time he goes out to the mound, it's like I got to be nervous because I don't know what Ranger we're getting. And it's sad that, you know, come postseason time, there's a possibility that he might need to be the 4th starter. He might need to be at the back of the starting rotation because he's just not reliable. Like, you were given the lead multiple times in the first couple innings, and you let it right back up. You know, it was 1-0. I think it was at one point 2-0 or 2-1. And I think at one point it was 4-2. So like it's annoying. And what annoys me more is like Rob Thompson cannot manage pitching to save his life. He can't. I'm sorry. But like, why would you leave Ranger in when you know he's struggling? Why? I know Ryan came in after and was shut down, but like you shouldn't have to get to that point. You shouldn't. But James, glad you could join us, man. What did you think of Ranger?
From what I saw, for some of the stuff I saw, I was just seeing a bunch of raise hits going all over the place and stuff. I I saw that he just. I heard one stat that was the most hits he has ever allowed in his career, which mind-boggling. That it happens to happen when, pretty much when a bunch of different guys are injured. It also happens to happen against the team we beat in 2008 World Series, which is another interesting stat. Um, and it also happens to happen right before right literally we're like 3 something weeks from Red October. Now with Ranger looking washed tonight, and if he has one or two more starts like this, creates an interesting convo for the third pitching spot for Red October. And I don't know if games say if it's tied 1-1, and for example, do you go with Sanchez, the guy who's been pitching a little bit better, in Sanchez, or do you go Ranger in a game 3 situation? I'm just saying, say if I doubt we're gonna fall. Say if we somehow end up falling out of the first round, which I don't think is going to happen. But say if the Phillies fall out of the first round by, like somehow bearing some prayer from another team to catch it back up to us, like from the Brewers to somehow catch us. If it's a best-of-3 situation, you're tied at 1. Do you do both Sanchez and Ranger game 3? That's a combo for another time. But I'm just saying, if it came down, I hope we don't have to deal with the wild card round but just think about it. It's not over yet, because after this one game against Tampa Bay, we got to play the Mets 7 times out of 10, and we got to play the sandwich with the Brewers. So it's it's far from over. The division probably is. We could still go. The division's probably kind of over, but when it comes to first round bye, it's not over yet. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen really. I find it interesting again that ever since his injury, he's just kind of been not the same Ranger that we once know and loved. So we'll see what happens with that. But going to the next topic, next thing we're going to talk about, Kyle, dude. I mean, he came out first at bat, leadoff home run, just broke the record for most leadoff home runs in a single season with 14. But after that, injured. And it's annoying to see because this team is just plagued with injuries. And he got replaced with Buddy Kennedy, which Buddy Kennedy, got a hit later in the game. So good for him. But I'm looking at the update to his injury, and it says that Kyle has a bruised or hyperextended left elbow. Rob Thompson said he'll put him in the lineup for tomorrow's game, but they'll see how Schwarber feels in the afternoon before a final decision. So I'm sure he'll be sore. He got injured trying to get back to the base when the Tampa Bay Rays pitcher checked him. He landed on it wrong and bended it the wrong way. So we'll see what happens with that. But it's just annoying that, Bohm's out, Sosa's out, JT. I think JT might come back tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. Hayes is out with a kidney infection, which nobody knows how long that could take because kidney infections are annoying. Again, it just seems like every time something is going good, it's like 2 steps forward, one step forward, 2 steps back. I said that the complete opposite way, but yeah. What did you think of Kyle, Fratty?
Ooh, I know. I heard once Buddy Kennedy replaced Kyle, which I think Buddy Kennedy's probably going to start tomorrow. Here's my thing. Rob's talking about bringing Kyle back tomorrow, but you have a day. We already won a series against Tampa. Why don't you just? At this point, with your lineup being so beat up, I'm surprised that he didn't. That he's not just going to rest Kyle till Friday. Think about it. We already won a series against Tampa Bay. The games that actually matter, no matter what happens, you already won the series against the Tampa. You already did your job taking 2. Maybe Rob last minute will decide to rest Kyle, and even though he said he might play tomorrow, but that all depends. We have a day off Thursday, so I mean, maybe Kyle, if Kyle's hurt, if Kyle's in pain when he wakes up in the morning, say if he's in pain, sometimes you don't really feel more till the next day. You know what I'm saying? So if he feels like he's in pain and can't go, I think he's better off just resting till the Mets series. To be honest, that's just my honest. He's just been on such a tear lately that maybe he'll just let him rest for tomorrow and just have it 2 days off. That's just my opinion. I mean, regardless, he has a day off to rest his elbow bruise anyway, but it always hurts worse the next day. So I don't know if you risk him playing with a bruise and make it worse. But honestly, I if I were them, the games that are coming up, the next 10 really matter. Tomorrow, we're just an interleague game against the Rays. I mean, it still counts in the win or loss column, but I'm just saying that the games coming up really mean more, a lot more. Rays are pretty much out of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my opinion there, Shard. I'm sure you understand that.
No, and I mean, I agree with you. I mean, we already won the series, so sit Kyle at this point. Let Buddy Kennedy get a couple swings, get adjusted to being major, and see where you go from there. So I agree with you. But you know, speaking of guys that were called up, Cal Stevenson, dude. The game was tied. He hit a really great double. There was a lot of just weird things that happened this game. Bryce Harper almost had a home run and a fan interfered. I personally think, I don't think it would have been a home run. I think it would have been at least a double or a triple. I think more so a triple. But just like kick that fan out of the stadium, dude. Just if you're going to interfere with a ball, I just think that's like the most stupidest thing you can do as a fan. I think it's ridiculous. Like don't interfere with the game. Um, and then the one thing that irritates me the most, right? Why is an umpire considered part of the field or what? Like, I don't understand that rule. I think it's absolute BS. Like, Bryson Stott, right? Could have had a double or a triple, but the ball bounces off of the umpire and lands right in the glove of the first baseman. What in what world is that fair? It's not. I think that's so stupid and so dumb because you would have had on both of those accounts that I just mentioned, you would have had an additional 1 or 2 runs, 2 at most. So it's just it's annoying that like there's a lot of things that go wrong for the Phillies. Again, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And just it's annoying. But Buddy Kennedy stepped up to the plate tonight when he was needed most. Cal Stevenson stepped up to the plate when he was needed most. So great for them. And like you said, you called it, I think, yesterday. I could see Buddy Kennedy starting tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, you have nothing to lose here. Think about it. You already won the series, like I said in the last topic. But Cal Stevenson coming in there, maybe him getting a hit tonight. Maybe he'll get a little playing time. Maybe it'll even start him tomorrow if they decide not to start Buddy. But since it's a toss up, really. But if I honestly think that I could see Scott or Marsh getting the day off tomorrow, and knowing Rob, and I could see Cal or Buddy playing or both somehow getting playing time. Because think about it, I mean, Rob's since they both got hits, Rob's going to knowing Rob, he's going to toss both of them in the lineup and give 1 or 2 of the other stars off tomorrow, just because he knows right now that we're sitting pretty. We have a good gap. We got a good gap over. We got eight game lead. I think the Mets are losing right now, right?
I think it's like an 8-game lead.
Be about to be an 8 game lead, in the division, and I could in about a 4 game lead. I think over Milwaukee, but I'm not sure if Milwaukee's losing right now. But we'll get the score updates in a little bit once we get to towards the end. So, but anyway, yeah, Cal Stevenson did his thing. And getting to the umpires, like you mentioned, Shard, I could, I mean, No wonder why there has been talks about them going to robot umpires soon because uh they're it's actually I heard it's in the minor league system they're doing that stuff now, the robot umpires. I mean, maybe I think it's the MLB. MLB is thinking about doing that in the future, which would be pretty interesting. So yeah, but what I seen is that they said I think the umpire's out there, but it's like a robotic, it's like a robotic technology system, I believe. That's how they do it. So that's going to be interesting development. But I figure I bring this up to everybody on the show about that. Because we're mentioning about umpires, and I know we haven't really since I've been on the show, Shard. We haven't really touched on the whole robot and umpire situation. I figure that is a actual topic to just to mention on the Cal Stevenson part, and what you mentioned about Scott was good to bring up, and of course we'll revisit this umpire stuff as maybe the rest of the season goes along and all. So yeah, that's my opinion on Cal Stevenson and also what you mentioned about Bryson Scott and the umpire. So yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, we're gonna get into our last topic. I mean, it's a pretty simple topic, but series win. They looked absolutely dominant. They took a 3-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays, and a lot of like I said, craziness happened tonight. Nick Castellanos, he got
Yeah.
hit by a pitch, and bench is cleared. I don't know if it was deliberate or not that he was hit by a pitch or on purpose. Most most emotion I think I've seen from Bryce Harper in a while, and I'm not a lip reader, but a lot of people on Twitter said the same thing, that like he came charging off a second and said like something like, "Hey, mother effer," or something like that. So I'm not certain, but most emotion I've seen from Bryce Harper in a while, and I like that from him. I like that from the team in general. I want to see you fired up. I want to see your emotion. I want to see you get angry that things aren't going a certain way. I want to see you standing up for your teammates. I want to see you getting mad at umpires if they have the wrong call. I want to see all of that. And going into the postseason, you need that energy. You need to be fired up. You need to just be completely pissed off at everybody. Go out there, rip the cover off the balls. It's, Philly versus everybody, and just keep that FU energy.
Yeah, it was a great series when what's her name? All right. Sorry, but anyway, yeah, what's the name? Uh, Overall, that was a good series win. We got one more to go. Hopefully we can get the sweep. Not gonna jinx it. Hopefully we get the sweep tomorrow. Um, and then we got a nice day off to relax, and pretty much everybody can do whatever. Relax and get ready for the stretch run coming up, and watch a football game, and just chill with your family, so all that, and get other stuff done. But anyway, yeah, stretch run coming up with the Mets 7 times, like I mentioned. Uh, like I mentioned, if we keep this upright, like the way we're playing right now, like even though we struggled a couple games against Miami, if we keep up winning games in spurts, going on 3-4 game winning streaks a couple different times the rest of the season, we should get the first round bye. And that means that the Phillies would be hosting games 1 and 2 October 5th and October 6th here at Citizens Bank Park on a Saturday and a Sunday. Oh my goodness, that's going to be. How about that? I don't think I ever remember us hosting a postseason series, and I remember it starting on a Friday, but not a Saturday here in Philly. I'm talking about for the DS round. I'm talking about. I remember the first game of a divisional series here starting in Philadelphia, starting on a Saturday, at least in the last couple postseasons. Here I'm talking about in Philly.
Right. Yeah, I can't
So
remember
that should
either.
be. It's going to be nuts when that October 5th. And believe it or not, I'm kind of happy it falls in that weekend because that's the DS round, both DS home playoff games for games 1 and 2 will fall on the bye week of the Eagles. So, which is great stuff. I think I don't like when both happen at once. So.
Right. Same.
So yeah, that's pretty much at least the Eagles will not be at least if interfering with the DS. The CS is a whole nother story, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. We got to wait and see if we get that first round bye and how the standings shake out. But that's all we have for you guys tonight. Phillies win 9-4. Looking at Phillies probable pitchers for tomorrow. Let me pull it up here. For tomorrow, to close out the series, for the Rays, we have Shane Baz, B-A-Z, Baz, one of the two. Right-handed pitcher, 2-3 on the season, 3.27 ERA, 46 strikeouts, going up against our man, Zach Wheeler, right-handed pitcher, 14-6 on the season, 2.59 ERA, 190 strikeouts. Could be a really good pitching duel tomorrow. We'll see. The game, again, is at 6:40 tomorrow, so we'll see you guys back here at the same time as we did tonight. But on that note, James, Eric, signing off. Everybody have a good night. Roll the outro. See you guys.
The Vikings!
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone! And it's gone!